हेलो, नमस्कार, आदाब, सत श्री अकाल एंड केमचो। आप सुन रहे हैं बॉलीवुड इंडिया और मैं हूं आपकी होस्ट सीमा सक्सेना। और आज आपके लिए थोड़ा सा डिफरेंट प्रोग्राम लेकर आए हैं। काफ़ी टाइम से इंटरव्यू नहीं करा था, तो सोचा क्यों ना आज इंटरव्यू किया जाए। सो टुडे वी हैव श्रेय पुरोहित, who is originally from India, but अब वो सैन फ्रांसिस्को में रहते हैं। एक पेंटर हैं, oil paintings करते हैं. I may be wrong, but we will get more information about his paintings. So बने रहिए हमारे साथ और बात करेंगे श्रेया। Hello Shreya and welcome to Bollywood India.
नमस्ते।
नमस्ते।
सो आप सही कह रही थी, मैं ऑयल पेंटर तो हूँ, पर दैट इज वन ऑफ द मेनी थिंग्स आई रियली डू। I studied to be an artist, but now I'm a gallery curator, a muralist, arts educator, a podcast host, and the handyman for my business.
CEO. CEO. ऐसी तो शुरुआत होती है ना। Yeah, no, that's great. I just knew about your painting, so that's how I started. So tell us more about yourself besides how it started, about being your painting journey.
So, as a child, I was diagnosed with dyslexia, and to me, that really created this quote unquote barrier to academics for me in my mind, that I was kind of handicapped and couldn't do much and would just waste away time until when I was in the 10th grade, I really found uh, graffiti and drawing and typography and graphic design and really started teaching myself graphic designer skills because I knew both my parents were doctors and both wanted me to be doctors. And as we kind of in the brown community know how doctor parents can be really pressurizing, and I'm sure it's not the parents' fault. It's just that they expect, right? Because they did it, so they expect their children to do it. But in my case, I early on really knew that I couldn't do that, so I wanted to really explore all my potential in whatever I could. So I really tried almost everything or every quote unquote field of study until I finally got to graphic design. Finally did some boot camps, tutorials, did a lot of learning as a 15, 16-year old in high school, and just started working as a graphic designer. In India, it was really easy to start working as a freelance graphic designer, and I did that for a while and really practiced and showed my parents that okay, being a creative is not uh, is not the starving artist mentality anymore. There is ways to really fund art and design. And even though I was 18, 19, they really had trust in me then. And then after that, I really started exploring. Okay, I did graphic design. I like working for clients, and I like doing visual stuff, but I don't really like uh, the selling part of graphic design. So I really moved to comics and paintings and just trying that and practicing that for around 5 years, and then in that period, I went from being someone who could draw stick figures to now being able to really be able to paint really fine portraits and landscapes and cityscapes. I would really attribute that to my self learning, the just seeking knowledge, because we're in such a digital age that all our knowledge can mostly be found on YouTube, and if not, it will lead you to some place where you can find more knowledge. And uh, that's primarily what I did until I went to the California College of the Arts for the illustration program, and that's where I really became a landscape painter and became a person who paints for the people around me and really thinking of what the role of an artist is in society and not just trying to uh, make pretty images, but really thinking about where we are as humanity, that how far we've come, that we just don't stop to think and be grateful for where we really are. Like if you could imagine our ancestors, maybe 100 years ago, 200 years ago, 300 years ago, must have had to go through so much that art would not have been even in their wildest dreams. And now, me being able to do it, a lot of my peers being able to do it, and all of us just being able to do so many things. To me, as an artist, my responsibility is to try to remind people of how far we've come as humanity and how beautiful things are around us that happen with teamwork and really happen with lots of effort, and not one person can really do anything. So that is kind of the path I'm on now. It takes forms of visual oil paintings or acrylic paintings, but my goal really is to try to help people stop and really smell the flowers, right? The quote of stop and smell the flowers, because flowers will wither away, and you just have to appreciate the beauty, which to me is the point of painting, is that okay, there is an image, but from that image, I really hope that the person realizes that, oh, beauty is around me. It's not just in the painting, it's how I look at it. So, roundabout question to where I am now is I run an arts gallery and maintain my own arts practice, selling and making paintings. In my art gallery, I have had 7 group shows until now, and we've had almost 15,000 bucks, $15,000 worth of art sold there from around 50 artists and over maybe 150 artworks that have been in that space. And most of my artists have never shown before and really are emerging artists just making art with passion. And I have found a way to really push and inspire these people to just keep making, because once they see people interacting with their works in this gallery space, in the where the context is art, people really appreciate art. So like you're say, like in like how earlier we were talking about respect for an artist, right? To me, as without this gallery environment, people were not that respectful. They
Yeah.
were like, oh, okay, childish hobby, what do you do? But as soon as this word gallery comes in, it
Yeah.
changes people's expectations and the context, and
So
which,
is it your, like you renting a gallery? So it's more
yeah,
or less you renting,
hmm
and then obviously you were subletting to other artists if they want to come in.
more like curating shows. I just put up weekend group shows. I rent the space on the weekend, because so that during the week I can work on my own art practice, and on the weekend we host group shows of lots of different artists, because I feel together as artists are so much stronger, because one artist really can't capture the how life is in just one perspective. So to have 20 perspectives at one art show really,
And then they have all different kinds, right? Like
yeah,
you,
different kind.
yeah. So it's like not just
Yeah, not just one way of seeing the
one
world.
way because this
Yeah.
is your way, which is
hmm
good. But then
hmm
when there is a variety,
Yeah, yeah. To me, I think that juxtaposition of different things
yeah,
really makes the viewer question, oh, what is art? Oh, art is just something made by humans.
yeah, yeah.
So
So it's
that
like
makes it.
having an exhibition, but there are so many other artists are there,
hmm hmm
variety. So
hmm
people, whatever their likes are, whether they're
hmm
looking
hmm
for nature, whether they're looking for
hmm
the
hmm
human paintings, whatever
Yeah.
they're
hmm
looking for.
Yeah.
There is so much in there for them to come and have
hmm
a look and appreciate and actually meet you guys there,
Yeah,
right?
meet
Because
us, meet the artists, and like have some for the artists to have a space that is not their house is amazing.
definitely.
All our houses are our studios, and they are not the most friendly place to talk about art.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, no, I totally agree because it's like business is a business.
Yeah.
Like people when they work from home, then they even have one office for their
Yeah.
business, right? So
hmm
that is like an office. It's
Yeah.
not okay. I'm just going to do it in a kitchen or something. So
Yes.
make it professional, right? So
Yeah.
it's like a
hmm
business, like same
Yeah,
like
definitely.
your parents are a doctor, so they
hmm
probably have their practice.
Mm-hmm.
They have an office, right? So
Mm-hmm.
people come where they, to
Yeah,
for
where the
their,
context is professionalism.
yeah, that's the main thing. So what inspired you to
What
become
inspired me?
like, was it because you always, beauty lies within, people's eyes? Is that's how, I mean, that's how the wording is, right? Like, so
Yeah.
I
Mm-hmm.
look at the plant, well, some people will say, well, I don't care for plants. Yeah, what is it?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like, it's whatever people, it's in your eyes. Like,
Mm-hmm.
some
Mm-hmm.
people, doesn't matter how beautiful that place is or how beautiful that person is. For them,
Mm-hmm.
if the inside, like, what is the inner beauty and
Mm-hmm.
humanity
Mm-hmm.
and all those things
Mm-hmm.
come, right? So what
Yeah.
inspired you? Like, was it somebody painter in your
I
family
would
or?
say there weren't really any painters in my family that I saw, but I had a lot of interactions with artists growing up in the Mumbai art scene that was really impactful. I remember my parents would tell me the story of M.F. Hussain, the artist, would be roaming around in our neighborhood, just going to shops and painting and doing all these things. So I knew that there was value for art, and growing up, I really was fond of history. So I really like knowing about these artists and their lives and how they came to do what they were doing. So I would say a lot of artists like Van Gogh and Claude Monet and Edward Hopper, those three artists really inspired me to see the world in this way of beauty. And in a way, that's kind of what I want to pass on, is showing people that the beauty is around us. You just have to look. It's a muscle that just needs to be practiced and flexed.
So what kind of paintings do you do?
I currently like capturing the city and the people around me and sunsets and flowers. That's kind of the zone I'm in now because I find that sunsets, flowers, and birds can really depict the happiness of life and the real joys of being alive. Even though there are so many other things that I paint, this is what I am currently focusing on. The previous body of work I was working on was infrastructure, really focusing on the public spaces that we build around us and uh, helping people realize that, oh, all this city, all these things that we really have are made with teamwork and made with efforts that we all take. And it's not right to attribute it to one person or to forget that person that made it. Yeah, that's primarily the work I do, but I'm also in, so these are in the like realistic world, if I may use that word, more like realistic and more observational. And then I also am part of an art band with a friend of mine or a couple friends of mine where we meet at my friend's house, Bob, and the band is called Bob's Pancake Factory. So we just meet at his house, eat a big breakfast, and go painting in his backyard. Very abstract, very free, very just lively, just throwing paint around as 5-year-old kids would do. Because in even though my friend is 60 and I'm 24, we become 5-year-olds because we realize that, oh, life isn't just putting the paint down and being happy. Because for so long, so many artists have struggled and starved, and the starvation shows up in people's art, and in
Yeah,
this our full stomachs show up in the paintings because we're just so happy and lively and just grateful to be there painting because he's been a painter and done so many other things to make money, but uh, when we're at the canvas we're all just so free and alive and young. He feels almost like my age even though he's 60 years old.
yeah. No, it's like being an actor. Like, you show your vulnerability, right? Like,
Hmm.
we're like a buddy away, and we have to. We don't want people to think we're
Yeah,
crazy, or
yeah, we
like,
have to
yeah,
put
yeah,
on the suit.
yeah. So just open up and do whatever comes in your mind. Do whatever,
Yeah.
the painting, as you said, whatever you like it, whether you're seeing it in a gallery
Hmm.
or
Hmm.
outside or whatever comes in your mind,
Hmm.
right?
And we've shown those paintings at the gallery, and people are just so
Amazing.
amazed because these are like large 4 foot by 4 foot paintings. People are just so taken aback that did the kid do it? Did you do it? How old are you? what is happening, and like how can you be so happy in this painting? It's like, why is there so much, and people just can't get it until they get the name. And really getting that Bob's Pancake Factory is really about just feeding the artist and then letting them go to work.
Wow. So did your parents object in the beginning? Like, as you mentioned, like
As yeah,
as a
I would say
brown.
my dad, coming from the path to where he came from, of his parents, and coming from Ajmer and coming from a really small town, and then becoming successful as a doctor, really thought that being a doctor for me would be the best thing, as his history and experience would show him. But so, and maybe till like 10th, 11th grade, he was still expecting me to be a doctor, or still had hopes that I could have been a doctor. But as soon as I did graphic design and really started being recognized as an artist, like I have now been painting for like 5, 6 years every day and posting on Instagram every day. And so slowly I have built a following of people that recognize my work for some value. So after maybe 1, 2 years of doing painting, my dad was like, okay, cool, I get it now. I get it now. And then now he's my biggest, I think, PR, public relations manager and marketing person, because he's always sending out all his friends my paintings and telling them how cool my paintings are. So it's so amazing how he went from completely not liking it to being like this, like overtly, just overtly supporter everywhere. So it's a good journey. It's a
And
good.
what about your mom? Your mom was okay?
My mom has always been supportive of me in everything. I would attribute everything I am really to my mom, because my mom really brought me up well and taught me so much, especially being an artist, to be able to hold my ground and be able to be confident with my art really comes from my mom.
Great. That's wonderful. And do you think I think you sort of mentioned that, do you think the artists get the respect? You said now that you have a gallery. So
Hmm.
before it was like, okay, just painting, they said, just like a hobby, but now because you
Hmm.
have a gallery, so people kind of, you get
Yeah.
some
Hmm.
respect.
Hmm.
Was that something in India as well? Did you find, is it something different, more respect here compared to India, or is it sort of same
I
now?
want to say there's more. Uh, I want to say there's respect in both places. There's just more dispensable or like disposable income here that people can respect it with their money here. But I'm sure that like in the Indian art market, when you reach to like the real, the Sotheby's and all the Christie's level of auction houses, they sell crores and crores worth of art. So it's not like the there is a huge Indian art market, but it's just a little different. Yeah, different. And I know a lot of famous, very good landscape painters in Mumbai that are really painting very well. But to me, I like the freedom and the openness of California and its landscapes and its thinking, and the culture of California and San Francisco to me is very unique and very almost like come and we will nurture you to do whatever you want to do.
So
So it's
have you
just
ever thought about like painting in India? Like India is beautiful.
Mhm. Yeah, I know. I grew up in India, right? Till I was 20. So I've done so much of my painting career in India. Maybe almost half of it in India and half of it here. But I seem to like California more. India is beautiful. India is
But then you're
beautiful.
only
So beautiful.
24, so it's
Hmm.
not that, okay, this is it.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
your
Yeah,
house,
yeah.
your home is Mumbai, so it's not that, okay, this is it. Like I've been here for a long time, so to me, I feel like I'm here. Canada is
Hmm.
my country,
Hmm.
and even though I was born and brought up in India, but I've
Hmm.
been here for so long. For you, you're just, young, 24 years old. You've been
Hmm.
here for 5, 6 years, or maybe longer than
Hmm.
that, but it's not like you probably will be going to India, that you will probably get lots of opportunity to
Definitely,
go in a
definitely.
different provinces.
I want
And
to do so many painting trips and just go painting around India and come back and do art shows. That is
Yeah.
definitely on my agenda and list
And
because
people will love it here, those
yeah,
paintings as
definitely
well.
inspired by the Himalayas. I want to
Yeah.
go somewhere painting in the mountains. There's this Russian painter that was in India from the 1920s to the 1940s, and he just went into the hill, lived as a nomad, and just painted. Painted
Hmm.
almost 8,000 paintings in those 20 years. And they're just off the hills, and they're just so beautiful. I'll send you his name. You can find him. His name is Nicholas Roerich. So I completely agree. India has so much beauty.
Yeah. Then Rajasthan. I'm sure there are lots of provinces. Like I'm
Yeah.
just whatever's coming in my head, right? Like
hmm
Rajasthan,
Yeah, I mean, you could go all of the states.
everywhere in yeah,
All of the
it's beautiful.
states, you probably won't have enough
Yeah.
days, years in the world to see everything because India is just so vast and
I
beautiful.
know, like, we are from India, and then how people say the grass is always green on the other side. So we just
hmm
think, India is beautiful. People want to go there. And, there's so many people who are actually living who are not even Indian. Like, they got
hmm
their citizenship. We're out here. We
hmm
always think the grass is green on the other side, but you got to work hard no matter what you want
hmm
to do. And if you
hmm
do, no matter where you are, you will be successful.
hmm
Yeah. I've heard that you have won an award. Tell us about the award.
Yeah, I won one award this year, and I won one last year from the Plein Air Salon, which is an American magazine, art magazine that's really well reputed that gives out these awards. And I won the best under 30 artist this year for a painting I did uh, of downtown San Francisco. It's near the Van Gogh Immersive exhibit, and I don't know if you heard about these Van Gogh Immersive exhibits. They pop up all over the world right now in cities where you can just go, and they have large projectors of Van Gogh's work moving around with a lot of music. And those after I went to it, obviously loving Van Gogh so much, I was really unsatisfied because I thought Van Gogh would have wanted more focus on the hardships of life, right? Especially given that how many uh, struggling people Van Gogh painted. So in that same sense, as soon as I left that space, I saw this one donut shop uh, with a homeless person sitting and eating like a sandwich, and a person inside making a sandwich, and a portrait of Van Gogh on the wall, and painted that and tried capturing that to question all these three people: Van Gogh, the homeless person, the sandwich man, could have been an artist, but only one got to be an artist, and one's face is plastered on this versus everyone else is just living around that art. And
Yeah.
how in the 1800s, Van Gogh would have been equally as hungry as that person eating that sandwich outside that painting was. So it is really just interesting thinking about all these concepts of, oh, he was a struggling painter, he didn't make any money in his life, and now so many other people are making so much money off of him and his face and his image. So in those same terms of commitment, I took that painting and I donated it because I knew uh, A, winning the award, B, it being of a homeless person, I could not really sell that painting. I just really wanted to use that painting to help my homeless neighbors. And I donated it to the Coalition on Homelessness, which is a San Francisco nonprofit organization that helps our homeless neighbors in San Francisco. And they did an art auction where I donated this painting to, and they almost raised $65,000 worth of art selling that now goes back to the community. And that painting, I think, sold for $2,500. And so just taking this thing that, oh, I won an award for, just putting it out back there to be like, oh, this city loves me so much, so I will give it back
Give
because
it
it
back
created
to
this, yeah,
give it back to the
create.
community. Yeah.
Mhm. It
Yeah.
gave me so much space and love and nourishment, even though I'm not from here. So it's my responsibility and duty to really pay that back, pay that forward.
Mhm. Great. No, I will look. I will look into it. No, I didn't know
Okay.
anything about that, but definitely I will. So tell us, where can people see your paintings? You've got social media handles.
Yeah, so you could find it on my website, which is shreypurohit.art. You can spell Shrey, ShreyPurohit.art, which is my website where you can find all of my paintings and all the stuff I do. But also you can find me on Instagram with my first name and last name, Shrey Purohit.
And are you also on a Facebook or other?
Yeah, you can use the same Shrey Purohit everywhere. I think you should be able to find me. I have a podcast that I'm working on that will have some more episodes on its way. It's called Keep On Painting, and the real tagline of that podcast to me is, okay, what is the secret to great painting? And the secret to great painting that I tell everyone is just keep on painting, just continue painting. That is the secret to great painting. It's not really about the finished product, it's about the painting.
Beautiful. What advice would you give it to the new artist?
What advice would I give to a new artist is just express and just keep making art, because the sooner you start, the more practice and muscles you'll have. Especially growing up, I wish started really painting and drawing and keeping a sketchbook as a young adult, because I would have had so much more experience to now pull from. So I would say keep a sketchbook and just keep making art and don't stop. Anybody tells you anything, don't stop, because they don't know that slow progress, right? If you like like kids are, if you tell a toddler that is crawling, oh, you tried to stand up and you fell, so you shouldn't walk at all, right? Don't even try, which is what most art people tell a child is, oh, you drew this thing, oh, stop, don't ever paint again, right? Which is so wrong, because if you tell that toddler that's falling down on the ground, just stop, stop, why are you even trying? No one's going to appreciate you walking. Stop, stop. So to me, the real advice would be just keep going. You'll get better. And
Practice makes perfect, right?
practice makes, I don't know what perfect, practice makes
Better.
better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Start with better. Yeah.
Yeah.
Good,
Because,
better, best.
finished is better than perfect, always.
Mm. What are some of your what projects you're working on right now, and something you want to share about your future project?
So I am working on a lot of murals right now, and I'm working on a 60-foot mural for a Bay Area internet company, which I can't really delve into more details, but there's going to be a uh, 60 foot wide by 8 foot high mural, and it's going to be really large. So I'm
Wow.
really excited for that, and the fact that it will remain here in their offices for however long they survive. I think they're going to be around for a really long time. So to have an artwork in this big company would be really, or is just really fun and honoring and satisfying. That is something I'm working on. My gallery is always hosting art exhibitions. So if any artists in San Francisco see this, feel free to send me your work. It's called Ingleside Gallery. I love hosting new artists, especially emerging artists, because emerging artists don't get an opportunity anywhere else.
So, when do you think your project, the big project, will be done by? I guess we're almost end of this year, so it'll be
It's in
probably next.
January. Yeah,
Oh,
next year. It's early
oh
next year.
wow. Okay, so it's June, January, and then the artists. When you say emerging artists, do you only take from states, or like I know some
Yeah,
people who
sadly,
are.
we only do like San Francisco because we try to focus on the
Okay.
local and the hyper local, because every community has its own art lovers and they sure do love international work. But at this point, we're just focusing on the local, focusing what's around us.
Okay.
The pandemic has really made me conscious of who my neighbors are, and they have great art. So we might have to open another gallery wherever your friends are.
And since you're born in Mumbai, right? Were you born in
Hmm.
Mumbai?
Yeah.
So Mumbai, Bollywood is famous there. Our program is called Bollywood India. Do you have any
Hmm.
memories about that? Have you ever thought about that? That, go take that journey, being an actor or so much,
I would say I love Bollywood movies for the romance and the music. I'm fond of a lot of Hindi music that comes from a lot of Bollywood movies. I would say one of the first portraits of Bollywood actors that I did was Shah Rukh Khan, and it was really fun portrait learning how to make cool colors. So I'm really proud of the storytelling that happens in India, even though it might not be the most well written stories. There are stories that need to be told.
Was it so he was there, or were you just looking at his
Oh
painting?
no, just as it is like a photo.
Yeah, yeah.
But on that other note, I did sketch Karan Johar, and I showed him that. He had come
Hmm.
to my school, and I sketched him and showed him and got some pictures with him.
Okay, great. No, that's good. No, that's good. And anything else you would like to add on,
Um, to
which we
anyone who's
didn't?
listening, to anyone who's listening, I would say focus on the beauty around you. There's so much beauty in being alive. Just focus on that because it's very easy to focus on the ugliness. Like we were saying earlier, beauty is in the eyes of the beholder. If you look at the world from beauty, beauty will be around you. If you look at it from ugliness, ugliness will show up. So
Yeah,
focus
being
on the beauty.
positive, right?
Yeah.
Being positive, right? You can take the things, whatever is coming on your way as a positive or negative, however,
Yeah, and just the gratitude for being alive and how far
definitely,
we've come as human race and how far we have to go because we
definitely.
forget the like galactic consequences of the things we do. We think we're just 2021, but we have so much influence on next generations, at least 6 7 generations we have influence on now. So our decisions should really just focus on what the 7 generations afterwards would be doing.
So was it the pandemic kind of got you going more, like gave you more time to?
Definitely. It definitely gave me more, even like meaning, right? Because as a landscape painter, I'm really taking outdoor subjects and putting it in people's houses because that's where my paintings live in people's houses. So taking the outdoors and bringing it indoors. So it was really made obvious the demand for paintings by the pandemic, and also connecting with my neighbors because I would have then some common thing to talk with my neighbors about. Oh, I painted this local burger place. Do you like this burger place? And everyone's like, yeah, we love the burger place. Give me that painting.
So was it hard? I guess it was hard, probably a bit in the beginning, here. Were
Hmm.
you just knocking at the doors, or
No,
I
I
guess
had
social media? Social media,
social
right?
media. Yeah, there's this Facebook like thing. It's called Nextdoor, and I was really posting my paintings out there almost every week, and so many people started following it, and now there are places and cafes that I go to, and people are like, "Oh, are you that person?" And I'm like, "Oh yeah, I did that painting." There's this one painting I did of a coyote going around some really expensive houses, and lots of people got really touchy about it because they were on one side of the argument or the other side. So it was a real neighborhood debate about that painting. So it was hard, but I have found so many friends and supporters that it is uh, a pleasure and a gift every day. Just walking around my neighborhood, it almost feels like India because I could walk down and wave at 5 people, and all of them know me, and all of them recognize me, and I can go to work, come back, do things.
Okay, so I will say, I think, thank you for your time and
Thank
good luck
you,
for your future projects.
thank you so much. You too.
You're, you're welcome.
Thank
Nice
you.
talking to you.
You too.